We have some big transfer news to discuss in today's video as an attacker deal is imminent. We will, of course, discuss this in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic have been linked with Brøndby winger Clement Bischoff as they continue their hunt for wide reinforcements, but it understands no contact has yet been made between the Scottish champions and the Danish club. The 19-year-old has started the season brightly with a goal and an assist already, and his name has started circulating in transfer chatter involving both Celtic and English Premier League side Sunderland. However, a source close to Brøndby said they are not aware of any interest from Celtic at this stage and confirmed that no official bid has been submitted yet. The winger remains an active part of their early season plans, and as things stand, there is no movement from Parkhead. Celtic are actively searching for wingers, with Brendan Rodgers operating with a skeleton squad in wide areas. Dazen Maeda remains a nailed-on starter, but the options on the opposite flank are limited to Yang and James Forrest. Despite several links in recent weeks, including Jacob Braham, who now appears to be staying in the Netherlands, no winger has yet arrived this summer, leaving Rodgers short in a key area of the pitch. Bischoff may fit the bill, but unless Celtic accelerates their interest, this one remains speculative at best. Now to bring you the main news. Rapid Vienna remain determined to land Celtic winger Marco Tilio, but are aware it may take until the final days of the transfer window to make it happen. The Austrian side have agreed terms on a £350,000 loan deal with an obligation to buy for £1.3 million if he plays so many games, but Celtic are yet to greenlight the move. Brendan Rodgers remains hesitant to sanction the Australian's departure amid a shortage of options on the flanks. Record Sports' Scott Burns reports that Rapid are willing to be patient, with the Vienna club understood to be playing the long game to secure their top target. Celtic are still actively working on bringing wingers in, and Tilio's exit won't be approved until fresh reinforcements arrive. Rapid Vienna sporting director Markus Katzer confirmed their continued interest in the 23-year-old, but stressed that the move is not yet finalised. He said this: "There is interest. We're monitoring the interest. We had interest in him before then Celtic signed him. But we're looking at players in his position, and we're certainly interested in him, but that doesn't mean it's a done deal," Katzer said. Tilio has struggled for minutes since arriving in Glasgow, with injuries and competition limiting his involvement, but he remains a player admired by clubs abroad, and Rapid remain hopeful they can get the deal done eventually. Celtic will need to get some players in the door to facilitate a move first, though. The Australian international was in the stands for Flag Day as Celtic beat St Mirren. In other news, Celtic may be forced into a gruelling journey to Kazakhstan just days before the season's first Glasgow derby, after Kairat Almaty took a significant step towards the Champions League playoff round. The Kazakh side edged a 1-0 win over 10-man Slovan Bratislava in Almaty on Tuesday night, with the only goal of the game coming from the penalty spot in the dying minutes. The second leg takes place next Tuesday in Slovakia, with the tie finally poised but Kairat now holding a narrow advantage. Brendan Rodgers and his staff will be watching developments closely. Should Kairat progress, Celtic would be forced to make a 7,000-mile round trip to Central Asia just 4 days before they travel to Govan in a massive early-season derby. That type of travel schedule is far from ideal, especially in a crucial part of the season where domestic momentum and European qualification are on the line. The logistics of the potential trip to Almaty, combined with the intensity of a Glasgow derby, make for a daunting scenario. Celtic have already decided not to postpone the match sandwiched between the European games against Livingston. Celtic will face whoever wins the tie, but the Kazakhs have the advantage after 90 minutes. In other news, Austin Trusty may have arrived at Celtic with a hefty £6 million price tag and Champions League pedigree, but he's already facing the harsh reality of a battle to even make Brendan Rodgers' matchday squad. That's the verdict of former Livingston coach and Clyde One pundit Marvin Bartley, who believes the arrival of Jemai Simpson-Pusey has knocked Trusty even further down the pecking order at Parkhead. The USA international, signed from Sheffield United on deadline day last summer, was expected to be a key figure alongside countryman Cameron Carter-Vickers this season, especially after his pre-season showings. But after Liam Scales started the league opener against St Mirren, and Simpson-Pusey signed on loan from Manchester City, Bartley reckons Trusty now sits fourth in line. Bartley said this: Trusty was £6 million, and if we're going by the weekend, Scales is now ahead of him. He's now fourth choice centre-half at Celtic, with Trusty being there as well, and now you've brought this young man in from Manchester City. You imagine he's coming up here to play, not to just sit around and be third or fourth choice, he said. Simpson Pusey arrives with a strong reputation, named Premier League 2 Player of the Year, and tipped for a bright future by Pep Guardiola. Celtic didn't fight off significant interest to bring him in on loan just to leave him warming the bench. Trusty has shown flashes of quality during pre-season and looked assured when he came off the bench against St Mirren, slotting in as Scales shifted to left-back, but it's clear his place isn't guaranteed. Trusty may yet prove himself a vital part of Celtic's campaign, but for now he's facing a stiff fight to avoid becoming a £6 million backup to a backup. In other news, Celtic's Alistair Johnston has been left in awe of what he sees from Kieran Tierney in Celtic training. The Scotland international made the move to Celtic this summer after he signed a pre-contract agreement with Celtic in January. There was a push to get a deal over the line in the winter window that would see KT return to the Hoops 6 months earlier, but that couldn't get over the line. Tierney made his first competitive debut on Sunday. He got a great cheer when he took his first touch of the ball. He was Celtic's main man on Sunday, with the majority of Celtic's attack going through him in the first half. It was nearly a nightmare return, though. Fans had the fear when he limped off just after the hour mark, but Brendan Rodgers eased fears, saying that he had just got some cramp with the player still building up to full fitness. Alistair Johnston joined pre-season late this year with international commitments from last season running deep into the summer. From what he's seen so far, the Canadian believes KT will add a lot of quality to the team and he's excited to play with him. Johnston had this to say: he's unbelievably technical, but look at what he puts into his body, how he takes care of himself, how he trains. In terms of just giving everything, his ball striking, his quality, it'll add a lot to our group. I'm just really excited to play with him. It's been great, and he's a big personality. That was something that we needed with Greg Taylor leaving. You could probably tell how big of a personality he was just by his interviews and things along those lines. Johnston concluded, hopefully there can be a few more quality players added to the squad in the coming weeks. Lastly, on Wednesday, it was reported that Celtic were interested in another defender, and now new details have emerged. Celtic have had a £3 million offer for Cagliari defender Adam Obert rejected, with the Serie A side making it clear they will not budge from their £6 million valuation. The Slovakian centre-back, who has been on Celtic's radar this summer, signed a new long-term deal with the Sardinian club back in January, tying him to the Italian side until 2029. That fresh contract has significantly strengthened Cagliari's hand in negotiations, and they are under no pressure to sell unless their full asking price is met. Obert, 22, is well regarded within the Cagliari setup, and while the Hoops are believed to still hold interest, there's no indication at this stage that they're prepared to significantly raise their offer. The defender's name emerged as a potential addition to a central defensive unit that has already seen major changes this summer, with Jemai Simpson Pusey arriving on loan from Manchester City and Gustav Lagerbilke and Mike Narocki heading for the exit. With Obert under a lengthy deal, Cagliari are taking their time in identifying possible replacements before sanctioning any move. It remains to be seen whether Celtic will revisit the deal later in the window or move on to other targets as they look to balance defensive depth with other, more urgent needs in the squad. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.